Welcome to the KEP Knowledge English Podcast. I'm your host, James Rivers, and I'm thrilled to have you join us on this journey of learning and discovery.
And I'm Sophia Wells. Whether you're looking to improve your English skills or dive into insightful discussions on a range of topics, you're in the right place.
Here on KEP, we explore everything from language learning tips to thought provoking conversations that will challenge your perspective and expand your knowledge.
Each episode will bring you fresh insights, practical advice, and a little bit of fun along the way. So grab your headphones and let's get started.
This is KEP Knowledge English Podcast. Let's dive in. Hey, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm James, and today we're diving into something that I know a lot of you have struggled with, because honestly, I've been there too. You've studied English for years, maybe even decades, and yet, why does it still feel so hard to speak fluently?
Oh my gosh, yes. And not even just speaking. Sometimes just thinking in English feels like running through molasses. Like I'll know the words, but it's like my brain's doing this awkward shuffle. First, it hears the sentence, then translates it into my native language, then back to English. It's like three steps just to say, I'm hungry.
Exactly. And that whole translating in your head thing, it slows you down so much. I remember once I was in a cafe in Tokyo and I was trying to order a sandwich. I knew the words, I'd practiced the sentence, but in the moment, I froze. My brain just jammed.
Oof, been there. For me, it was during a video call with a friend from New York. I wanted to say something simple, like I didn't sleep well, and instead I sat there for 5 seconds just staring at the screen, trying to line up every word in my head like little grammar soldiers. Spoiler, the moment passed.
Yup. And that's what today's episode is all about: how to stop that cycle, how to get your brain to naturally think in English without always translating from your first language.
Because here's the truth, fluency isn't about knowing 1,000 words or memorizing 50 grammar rules. It's about speed and comfort. It's about getting your brain to relax in English. And you can start that process in a matter of days. I'm not even kidding.
Totally agree. We're not saying you'll be Shakespeare by the weekend, but you can absolutely start rewiring your habits this week. And it starts with something simple: letting English become the language of your thoughts, even for 5 minutes a day.
Right. You don't need a teacher. You don't need a class. You just need small pockets of time and a willingness to sound silly, even if it's just in your head. We'll talk more about that later, but trust us, it works.
So if you've ever caught yourself thinking, why do I freeze when I try to speak? Or why do I still translate everything in my head? You're not alone. And this episode is for you.
Also, before we dive deeper, quick favor. If you're loving the podcast, hit that follow button or leave us a quick review. It seriously helps us keep going and reach more learners like you.
And one more thing: drop us a comment or message telling us where you're listening from and what your biggest struggle with thinking in English is. We read every single one and love hearing your stories.
We really do. We've got folks listening from Brazil, Vietnam, Italy, even South Africa. It's wild how language connects us all, right?
It really is. And that's what this podcast is about: connection. Helping you move from studying English to actually living in English. And thinking in English is the first big step.
So buckle up. We've got practical tips, real stories, and even a little challenge at the end that'll help you kickstart that brain switch.
You ready?
Oh, I was born ready. Let's go.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why does thinking in English feel so dang hard?
Oh man, because it is hard. Let's be real. Our brains love shortcuts, and translation is the shortcut we've trained them to take. It's like, don't bother using English directly, just convert it from your native language. But that's super inefficient.
Exactly. And it's not your fault if that's how your brain works right now. Most of us learned English in school with the focus on memorizing vocabulary lists and grammar charts. It was all about passing tests, not about using the language in daily life.
Yep, I remember sitting in English class writing stuff like, the cat is on the table, and I was like, cool, but how does this help me order food or make a joke?
Right? And here's the problem. When all your learning is in translation mode, your brain doesn't build the instinct to think in English. You end up taking the scenic route through every sentence.
Like, instead of just thinking, I'm cold, your brain's going, estoy fría, cold, I am cold. By the time you finish the loop, you've already missed the moment.
And that constant back and forth slows everything down. You know the vocabulary, you know the sentence, but it takes so long to get the words out because you're mentally switching lanes.
And it's exhausting. Honestly, that's what burns people out. They're trying so hard and they don't understand why it still feels like such a struggle.
Exactly. So today's big mindset shift is this. If you want to speak faster, think faster, and sound more natural in English, you have to train your brain to skip the translation step entirely.
And don't worry, we're not saying you need to be perfect. This isn't about flawless grammar or sounding like a native speaker. It's about fluency in your thoughts. Just being able to think, I'm tired or where's my phone in English without needing to translate.
Yeah, we're talking baby steps. No pressure, no performance. Just getting used to letting your brain function in English the way it already does in your first language.
Let me put it this way. Do you translate your thoughts when you're hungry? No, you just know you're hungry. The goal is to get to that point with English, where the thought just happens in English without effort.
And we promise it's doable. It's not magic, it's habit.
Totally. And the good news? You don't have to change your entire life to make this shift. Just change a few minutes of your day.
That's it. A few mental tweaks. We'll show you exactly how in the next section. But first, if your brain has been on translation autopilot for years, give yourself some grace.
Seriously, you're not lazy and you're not bad at languages. You just haven't been taught to think in English yet, and that's about to change.
So hang tight, we've got your back. Let's break that old habit and start building a new one thought at a time.
Coming up next, the easy technique that'll help you flip the switch in just 30 seconds a day.
Let's do this. All right, let's talk about the technique that makes this all possible. We call it micro thinking.
Yeah, and don't let the name scare you. It's not a fancy neuroscience thing. It just means thinking in English for short bursts of time during your day. That's it.
Exactly. Think 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Just enough to flip your brain into English mode without sitting down or opening a book.
And that's what I love about it. You don't need to plan a lesson or set a timer. You just grab a moment and go, all right, brain, we're thinking in English now.
Let's say you're brushing your teeth. You're already staring at the mirror, right? That's the perfect time to start. Think, okay, I'm brushing the top teeth. My toothpaste tastes weird today. I need to buy more.
Or even, why do I always drop water on my shirt? That's me every morning, by the way.
Haha, relatable. And the beauty is, it doesn't have to be complicated. You're not trying to give a speech. You're just narrating what's already happening.
Exactly. It's like being your own tour guide. Now I'm putting on socks. These don't match. Oh well, boom, you just trained your brain for 15 seconds in English.
And the key is doing it regularly. Like, pick those little in between moments, waiting for the bus, riding an elevator, walking to the kitchen. That's micro thinking time.
For me, it's in the shower. I'm serious. I'll think, the water's too cold. I should wash my hair. Did I run out of shampoo? Totally random stuff, but I do it all in English.
Same here. I do it while walking the dog. He's sniffing everything again. Why does he always do that? Is that a squirrel? It's silly, but it keeps my English active.
And listen, you don't need to know the perfect word every time. If you don't know the word for like measuring cup, just say the small bowl thing for cooking. The point is to keep going in English, not get stuck.
Yes, it's totally okay to talk around the word. You're not in a test. You're training your fluency muscles, not proving anything to anyone.
I tell learners all the time, your brain needs to get used to English, like background noise. You want it to be so normal that it just happens without you forcing it.
And the more you do this, the faster that shift happens. One day, you're micro thinking for 30 seconds. The next week, it's 2 minutes. Before you know it, you're at the store thinking, do I need eggs or did I already buy some? And it's all in English.
Yes, it becomes part of your day. You're not studying English anymore. You're just living it, even inside your head.
That's the goal. Micro thinking is about building that habit. No pressure, no performance, no perfection. Just short, honest thoughts in English.
So if you're listening right now, think about your day. Where can you sneak in 30 seconds of English thoughts? Is it during breakfast, in the bathroom, while waiting for your coffee?
Start there. One small window, one thought. That's all it takes to begin.
All right. Next up, we'll show you how to use micro thinking in real situations and make it feel totally natural. Get ready.
All right, now that you know what micro thinking is, let's talk about how to use it in your actual life. Because let's be honest, if it's not simple and realistic, nobody's going to stick with it.
Totally. You don't need to block out a special study hour. You just need to find those little quiet moments where your brain isn't doing much, like brushing your teeth or walking to the bus stop.
For me, it's during breakfast. I sit down with my toast and coffee and just think to myself in English, okay, this coffee's too strong. I should buy orange juice later. I have a meeting at 10. Nothing dramatic, just casual, real thoughts.
Love that. For me, it's when I'm doing dishes. I'll go, why are there so many cups? Did I really use all these today? I should probably clean out the fridge too. It's almost like talking to yourself, but mentally in English.
And the best part? No one hears it, so there's zero pressure. You don't have to sound smart or polished. You're just keeping the English flow alive in your brain.
Exactly. And you can even do it while walking your dog, folding laundry, or waiting in line at the store. That's my go to. I'll be like, okay, this line is long. Why did I come at this time? I hope I remembered the shopping list.
That's a great one. The grocery store is full of little opportunities. Where's the cereal aisle? Should I get bananas? What's the price of this again? All that thinking, just do it in English.
Also, one of my weird favorite moments to practice, right before unlocking my phone.
Oh, really?
Yep, I'll ask myself, why am I picking up my phone? Am I checking Instagram again? Did someone text me? That 5 seconds, that's practice.
I love that. It's those quick check ins that really build the habit. Even something like getting dressed. What shirt should I wear? Is it going to rain today? Do I have time for breakfast? It all counts.
And here's the thing, don't worry if you don't know the perfect word. If you don't know how to say hair dryer, just say the thing that blows hot air. It's fine. You're still thinking in English.
That's such an important point. People get stuck trying to be perfect, but you don't need perfect words. You just need English words, any English words.
Exactly. Use what you know. Fill in the gaps with guesses if you have to. The more you do this, the more comfortable you'll get. And eventually, your brain will start choosing English first without you even realizing it.
It becomes second nature, like muscle memory, but for your brain.
And honestly, it makes the whole learning process feel lighter. You're not sitting down thinking, okay, time to study now. You're just living your day in English.
So here's a quick challenge for everyone listening. Choose one thing you do every day, something really routine, like making coffee, commuting, or brushing your teeth. And tomorrow, just narrate it in your head in English.
Doesn't have to be deep or fancy. Even something like, I'm filling the kettle. Now I'm waiting. The water takes forever. That's already powerful brain training.
Start there. One activity, one small habit. And if you do that every day for a week, you'll be shocked at how much easier it feels to think in English.
Trust us. It's the small stuff that adds up. Keep it simple, keep it real, and keep it English.
All right, we've talked about how micro thinking works and how to build it into your routine. But now let's talk about the traps. Because honestly, most learners fall into at least one of these without even realizing it.
Yep, been there, done that. So let's walk through some common mistakes so you can avoid them and keep making progress.
First big one, waiting for the perfect moment to practice.
Oof, that one's huge. People think they need silence, energy, good lighting, maybe even a fresh cup of tea before they can start thinking in English. Like, no, life doesn't hand you perfect moments.
Exactly. If you're always waiting for ideal conditions, you'll never get started. You've got to work with the moments you've already got, even if they're messy or boring.
I literally started doing this while stuck in traffic. Not a peaceful vibe at all, but I'd just sit there thinking, okay, the car in front is not moving. Why is this guy switching lanes again? Not glamorous, but super effective.
That's the point. It's not about the mood, it's about showing up. Second mistake, judging your own thoughts too harshly.
Ugh, yes. People will start thinking in English and then immediately go, that sounds dumb, or wait, is that grammatically correct? And then they just stop.
Which totally defeats the purpose. You're not here to impress anyone, you're training your brain, and training means messing up sometimes.
Honestly, half the time my internal thoughts sound like a 5-year-old. I like food. Food is good. I want food now. Do I care? Nope. I'm still practicing.
And that's how fluency grows, by letting go of perfection and just thinking. Mistake number three, translating full sentences from your native language.
That's such a sneaky one. People don't even realize they're doing it. They'll think, what would I say in my own language? And then try to convert the sentence into English word by word.
Which totally slows you down. Instead, start with what you know in English, even if it's simple. Don't try to recreate a perfect sentence from your first language.
Exactly. For example, instead of thinking, this meal reminds me of something my grandmother used to cook during special holidays, just go with, this food feels like home. Keep it short and honest.
And the fourth big mistake, repeating the same few thoughts over and over.
Yep, like thinking I'm tired every day and never pushing past that. You've got to challenge your brain a little. Try new topics. Describe what you see. Make jokes. Think about tomorrow or how you feel about something.
Even just saying, that shirt is ugly, or I'm nervous about tomorrow's meeting adds variety and emotion. That's what keeps the practice fresh.
And speaking of emotions, another mistake is avoiding them completely. Thinking in English doesn't have to be robotic. Use feelings.
Exactly. I'm frustrated. I'm happy. I'm bored. It helps your brain connect the language with your real experience.
Last mistake? Comparing yourself to others. This one's tough.
Yeah, if you're watching fluent speakers and thinking, why can't I speak like that yet? Stop right there. Everyone's timeline is different.
Totally. You're building your own path. Don't let someone else's speed mess with your confidence.
So to recap, don't wait for the perfect time. Don't judge yourself. Don't translate. Don't repeat the same thoughts forever. And don't compare.
Do show up, do mess up, do keep going. That's how this works.
Up next, we'll show you how micro thinking helps boost your confidence and actually improves your speaking and listening skills over time.
You're going to love this next part. Let's roll.
Okay, so we've talked about what not to do. Now let's get into something super encouraging, how micro thinking actually builds real fluency and confidence over time.
Oh, yeah. This is the part that gets me excited because people think it's just 5 minutes of thinking. How is that going to help me speak better? But honestly, that's exactly where fluency starts.
Totally. Think about it. Before you speak, your brain has to know what it wants to say. If you've already practiced forming thoughts in English, even silently, you'll find that words come out faster and easier.
Yep, no more weird pauses or panicked translations mid sentence. I remember one of my students said, "For the first time, I answered in English without planning my words." That's a huge milestone.
I had a similar moment. A learner I was working with told me she used to freeze every time someone said, "How was your weekend?" And then after a couple weeks of practicing micro thinking, she just answered, naturally without thinking too hard.
That's the power of this stuff. You're training your brain in the background so when a real conversation happens, it's like, oh, I've already had this thought. Let's just say it.
And it's not just speaking, this helps with listening too. If you've been thinking in English, your brain's more familiar with sentence structures and rhythm, so when someone talks, it's not overwhelming anymore.
Totally. You stop hearing English like noise and start hearing it like meaning. It's like you're tuned into the same frequency.
And the confidence boost is real. When you realize, wait a second, I've been thinking in English all morning, you start trusting yourself more.
That inner voice changes. You go from I don't know enough to hey, I'm actually doing this.
Exactly. And that trust in yourself, it carries into everything. You feel less nervous in meetings, more relaxed in small talk, and more open to joining conversations.
And let's be honest, confidence is half the battle in language learning. If you feel scared or unsure, you hold back. But if you've already been thinking in English, your brain says, I've got this.
I think one of the reasons this method works so well is because it's private. You're not performing for anyone. There's no pressure, no embarrassment. It's just you and your thoughts.
Yes, and that privacy is so freeing. You're allowed to make mistakes, to be slow, to say silly things because no one hears them. And that's where growth really happens.
So even though it seems small, this habit is powerful. It trains your thinking, your reaction time, your comfort level, and all of that leads to real world results.
You might not notice it at first, but one day you'll have a full conversation and realize, wait, I didn't translate anything. It just came out. That's when you know your brain's shifting.
So don't underestimate these micro moments. They might feel tiny, but they're building something much bigger underneath the surface.
Seriously, if you stick with this, even 5 minutes a day, you'll feel the change. And honestly, you'll feel proud of yourself too, because you're living in English, not just studying it.
Coming up next, we're going to show you exactly how to turn this practice into a daily routine. No stress, no big time commitment, just one step at a time.
Let's make it easy, fun, and something you actually look forward to. Ready?
Let's do it. All right, we've covered the what, the why, and the how, but now it's time for the most important part, the challenge. This is where you take everything we talked about and actually apply it.
Yep, we're not just giving you ideas, we want you to do something today. So here's the challenge. Take just 5 minutes, and practice thinking in English during a normal, everyday activity.
You don't need silence, you don't need to sit at a desk. You just need to be alive and doing something.
Exactly. Pick something you already do every day: brushing your teeth, making coffee, walking your dog, doing the dishes, whatever. Just choose one task and mentally narrate it in English from start to finish.
It might sound like I'm washing the plate. This cup is dirty. I think I made too much pasta last night. Super basic, super doable.
Yes! Don't aim for fancy sentences. Don't worry about grammar. The goal is not to be correct, it's to stay in English for 5 full minutes.
And hey, it's okay if your thoughts are messy or if you get stuck. Just keep going. Use simple words. Talk around what you don't know.
For example, if you don't know the word for cutting board, say, the thing I put vegetables on. That still counts. You're still thinking in English.
If you want to take it a step further, here's a bonus idea. After your 5 minutes, write down one sentence that came to your mind. Just one. It could be anything. And if you're feeling brave, share it with someone. Post it in a comment, text it to a friend, or even say it out loud to yourself. That tiny bit of reflection helps a language stick.
Ooh, and if you have a friend who's also learning English, invite them to do the challenge with you. You can both pick a time, do your 5 minutes separately, then message each other your sentence of the day.
It makes it more fun and more motivating. A little accountability goes a long way.
So let's recap. Your mission: pick one part of your daily routine. Think in English for 5 minutes during that task. Use simple words. Stay in English. Don't worry about mistakes.
And bonus points if you write down or share one sentence afterward. That part's optional, but it helps you track your progress.
And here's what we want you to remember: you don't need a class, a tutor, or a perfect accent to start thinking in English. You just need to start. One day, one thought, one habit.
Over time, those tiny moments will build something big. You'll feel more natural, more confident, and more connected to the language.
Because at the end of the day, English isn't just something you study, it's something you live with. And the more you use it in your mind, the more it becomes yours.
So go ahead, give yourself 5 minutes today. Start that shift. And if you're listening to this all the way through, we know you've got what it takes.
And hey, if you're still here at the end of the episode, drop the word thinking in the comments so we know you're part of the Action Takers Club. We love seeing who's all in.
Thanks for joining us today. We're rooting for you, and we'll be back next week with more tips to help you live and think in English.
Until then, keep it simple, keep it real, and keep it English. See you soon.